Hello, this is Jack, that's Sally Folk,
That's Angie.
and we are the August 1823 Stitchers. We're filming Floss Tube 5 on October 18th from my patio in Hartsville, South Carolina. Sally lives in Florence, South Carolina.
Yes, so I road trip it over.
Yes, so things are going to be running a little bit different today because we don't have previous finishes.
Nope.
And we're going back to our needles up, almost all the categories. So we have some things to show. We promised we'd be back in 2 weeks. We had to delay it by 2 days.
Yes, I couldn't get my stuff together.
And we had illnesses going on in town, and it's just a bad time, so we delayed it.
Yes.
I'm going to put Jack down. You may see him boinging up and down because he tries to jump in my lap, and I try to keep him out of my lap while I'm doing this. But he's doing fine. He's my little turd bird. Yes, I love you too. Yeah, you don't want to get down, I know, but I can't do this with you in my arms. Okay, so we don't have any previous finishes to show this time. So we're going to jump right into FFOs, fully finished objects. And the first one I have to show is my second completion of this pattern this year. It's called Let's Go to Church by Ursula Michael of Imaginating. I will say that I will not do this pattern again. It'll be a long time before I do something like this because this is a lot of backstitching letters, and the words Jesus Christ and Lord is full of quarter stitches, and I'm an Ada stitcher. Quarter stitches is very hard on Ada, but this is going to go to the fair this weekend, and we'll see how it performs. The second FFO I have, and I'm just going straight through because Sally doesn't have FFOs today.
Nope. I've been slack.
The second FFO I have today is a really small one. World of Cross Stitch had this little booklet of patterns by Doreen Jones in the in one of their editions, and so I did the whale. And I just did the whale. I left out the stuff on the top and the bottom. I just wanted the whale. I have it on some cloudy blue mystery Ada. I'm doing this in a set of 4. My friend painted a pelican for me, and I'm trying to do 3 other scenes that I'll have hanging in a row of 4. So I just wanted the whale by itself, and I am delighted with this piece. And it also is going to the fair. I doubt it win a prize, but the kids at least will like seeing the whale, I think.
I actually do have an FFO.
I'm sorry.
No, I forgot about it.
Okay.
Last month at our Embroiderers Guild meeting, we had a silent auction, and so the things I made for the silent auction, a friend of mine wanted, but she wasn't able to get. She didn't outbid the person who won it, so I told her I'd make her a set similar to what it did. So I made a needle book. And it just, it's got a snap.
Explain why it's candy canes.
And, I did a Christmas theme, but the person I'm making it for is, her name is Candace, but she goes by Candy, and her father always called her Candy Cane, I think. So it definitely has a candy cane theme. I made some counting pins, or you can put them in a pin cushion. It's hard to judge.
You have
It's
to
hard to gauge.
close pretty much.
I made a Frogger.
Maybe hold them a little longer so they can actually see. Yeah.
A scissors fob, but it's having issues right now. Normally my scissors fobs have a charm at the end, but I had to, this candy cane slice had a hole in the middle, so I had to adjust. And then a needle minder. Now, I know it's Rudolph, but they were so cute, and the majority of, I think all of these items, the materials for this came from Hobby Lobby. So that's my fully finished. Okay.
Okay, now my other fully finished relates to my card making. I took a card making class through Stampin' Up, and they teach you how to make 6 different cards at this class. So we started with 2 Thanksgiving cards, and there are general happy Thanksgiving things inside, but I'm not going to show those. Greetings or sentiments. There's the second Thanksgiving card. That was cute.
Oh, that's really pretty. I like that. I like the first one too.
And I even, sometimes I do this to my envelopes and just stamp a little related emblem on it, just to give them a clue as to what's in the envelope. Then we did 4 Christmas cards. This one says deck the halls, in case that's too late for you to read.
That's an unusual shape.
Yes, it was. This one was hard for me because you had to put each individual strip on and kind of guess where this square piece was going to be put in it.
That's pretty though.
So that was, and we did another one. I thought we did another one like it, but maybe not. This one I thought was simple but pretty. I mean, you basically just had to cut those pieces with a Cricut and glue them all together.
Was there a die for that?
Yes,
Okay.
These are all die cuts that she had available for us to use. She pre-cuts the cards and these pieces, the backing, and she pre-cuts, gives us squares to cut the letters out of, and you know, that kind of thing. And it's a really nice class to take. I learned a lot of techniques through that. So that, I believe, is all of our FFOs.
Mm-hmm.
So now we'll move into finished objects. Why don't you start?
Okay. Well, the first one I have, I'm doing the Country Cottage Needleworks Boardwalk series, and I've gotten 4 patterns. I've only completed 1, but I completed the ice cream shop, and I used the called for over dies, and I think they're Classic Colorworks. I could look, but I'm not. I'm thinking that's what they are. Yes, Classic Colorworks. But to me, there wasn't a whole lot of variegation, so I didn't stitch each individual stitch. But I'm doing this on a 32 count limestone Lugana. It's got a little bit of a hint of a green. I just thought the colors kind of looked good on it, and the white pops pretty good on it too.
Okay, I only have 1 FFO. I've been working, as you know, on these months if you've been watching us. And this is September. And this one will go in the fair on the red painted barn. And I'm hoping it'll win a ribbon. And Sally, as usual, does my finishing. She did the finishing on this. I think once I put it on that red barn, it's going to be really good. So I just got to put the washers on the back of this so that it'll catch the magnets. And I'm excited about this one going into the fair. I think of all of them, I think this one should win.
Oh,
with that,
you like that one?
Well, with the barn and stuff, it's just unique. I think it'll be a unique finish.
And I've been doing the 9 patches from Primrose Cottage Stiches. My plan was to do 1 a month, but I kind of got bogged down. But I have finished all the ones that are on Vintage Country Mocha fabric, and I'm using 28 count linen, the Vintage Country Mocha linen, to do mine. And so here's my version. And if you will notice, Santa has 2 black eyes. Well, they're supposed to be French knots, but I can do 1 French knot. I cannot do a pair to look alike to save my soul. So I used a couple of seed beads that I had. I have a whole tube of them. But these are fun. And they're not, you can do one in a couple of days. All right, those are all my finishes.
Okay, next we'll have whips. And Sally has written New Start. I don't have a New Start.
I have 2 new starts.
So why don't you do those first?
Okay, I gotta find them first.
I just have one whip, so
All right, I put it.
I work so
Oh,
hard
here
on
we go.
finishing everything. I don't have any whips.
All right, so Erica Arnott, I think that's how you pronounce her name, has a she has a website, Floss Tubers. She does she makes homeschool curriculum, but she quilts, and each year she does a series of cross stitch and quilts to match. But I got the August Stitchy House pattern because my birthday's in August. So is Angie's for that matter. But anyway, so I started this, and it's on 14 count beautiful beige fabric swigart, and then using the called for DMCs. And here's where I am. I was let me use our new tool. Here we go.
Sally made this.
Yes, well, it was your idea. I just put it into action. But anyway, so here we go. The border met the first time. Didn't have to worry about that. And every now and then I want to, I usually stitch on something higher, or 28 count, 32, 36. I have done 40, but not my favorite. But every now and then I like to go back to some 14 because I don't have to use too much magnification. I pretty much can use my reading glasses. Okay. You need the board.
You have another New Start?
Yeah, I do.
Might as well do it.
Okay. And so my other new start, and I say I don't like working on 40 count, but I don't mind working on 20 count. I can see the holes on 20 count Ada. Oops. Can't see the pattern. Can't really see the pattern. There we go. All right, so this one is called Decaf Y by Aury TM. And I'm just doing it on a gray 20 count Ada. And it usually is 4 colors. I've got the white and I'm working on the dark blue at the moment. And yes, there's a string there. And then I'll have the words at the top and the bottom. And I started this Saturday. I was dog sitting and watching college football. Okay.
I have one whip. As I said, I worked on finishes so much that I didn't have time for other stuff. I have continued to work on Super Mario in the doctor's offices, and I discovered that I made a major error because the way they did the patterns, page 1 is here, page 2 is here, and page 3 is in the middle. Then there's page 4 over here, page 5 over here, and page 6 in the middle. Well, when I was doing the wall, I counted that I needed 9 sections, but it was because I counted page 5 twice, thinking it was the beginning and the middle somehow. And so I'm missing a whole section of wall. And I thought I had to frog a whole section, but Sally showed me how I could fudge it. So I'm gonna fudge it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little tighter. Won't have quite so much space for Mario to do his jumping, but there will be space, just not quite so much. Now I'm doing this on Blueberry 14 count Ada from Fiber on a Whim, and the needle minder is from it's the Flockstar Pigeon from Black Needle Society. I'm doing this project in honor of my father, who we love to play video games together. He started me on video games, and he played video games many more years than I ever did. So this is where I am, and I thought that all I had to do was finish this wall right here. There's not much space over here to continue the wall, so that's why we're going to fudge. And I'd already put this in. I have a turtle that has to go here. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
So it's really come alive. The colors, I just love working with these colors on this fabric. So this Fiber on a Whim is something great. Ada is usually so hard to work on because it actually peels my fingers sometimes with the roughness of it. But this has been great.
All right. So
Is that all your whips?
that's it. That's all I have.
Okay,
I
so-
just, they were all new starts. I didn't work on any of my old other stuff. The next part we want to talk about is our stash investment / stitchy kindness, because I have several.
Is
It's
there a
been
second
right there.
page?
It's my list.
I had plans next. Where's plans is at the end. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're doing
Stash investment /
Stash
stitchy kindness. My pen attacked me. You want me to go first?
yes.
Well, I have some stitchy kindness from a friend of mine. She had the opportunity to go to the retreat that they had up in the mountains at the campsite. And so she came back with several things that she had picked up, and then I happened to be over at her house, and she had been cleaning up her craft room and had a duplicate, and so she let me have that too, which I thought was very nice of her. So I'm gonna start with that one first. It's a buttons and beads, and it's called Country Lane. It's got a barn and a chicken, well, probably a rooster. Looks like a rooster. When I was younger in the summer, I'd spend time at my grandparents, and they didn't have chickens, but they had pigs and a cow and a farm. So we would pick vegetables, and we'd make sauerkraut, and my grandma would make pickles and canned tomatoes and all that good stuff. And then she also had, she got the 52 Victorian designs. I like samplers, and Victorians kind of sort of like samplers, and about the same time period. I have 3 cats, and I'm wearing my latest cat lady box. And so she found Snoozing Santa by Imaginating. She also found Strung Out, and it's got the cat tree on it, and I think this is the one I want to do first because that's what my cats do. There's a little hammock on one of the cat trees, and one of the 3 is always in that little hammock. And then she also found sledding cats, which would be nice for Christmas. You know, we live in South Carolina, so we don't get a lot of snow. I think the last time I went sledding, I was a senior at Clemson University in 1987. That winter, we had some snow. Classes were canceled.
Those all come from Imaginating.
Yes.
So you can go to the Imaginating. I think it's on Etsy.
Oh, are they?
I think they're on Etsy. Maybe they have their own website now, but that's where I got my Ursula Michael Let's Go to Church
Oh, okay.
on Imaginating. Okay, are you done with your?
That's Stitchy Kindness.
Okay.
I've got some stash.
Well, I'll do one of mine
Okay.
because I have 3 to share. So,
Alrighty.
my first one came from Poland. Stitched by Tatiana. I talked about her last time and how I'd ordered the fabric, and it came within days of my talking about it. And I'm still waiting on fabric I ordered from Florida. But Poland got here, and I ordered the stuff from Florida a week before I ordered the stuff from Poland. So the first one is a 60 by 60 centimeter piece. It's just called Ada Blue, but it has a little bit of modeling on it.
Yeah, it does.
And it's still kind of rough a little bit, but I'll be able, once I work with it, it'll smooth out. And the other piece I got was just called Ada Green. It's a smaller piece. It's 48 by 39. It's got a lot more modeling.
That's centimeters though, right?
Yeah, yes, yeah. In Europe, they do everything by centimeters. Got a lot more modeling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm going to put on it, but it was so pretty. And I'm not a green person. Green and I do not get along when it comes to cross stitching. But maybe green fabric will be better than using green floss. So we'll see. So that's what came from Poland.
Alrighty. I need to shift a few things here. Okay, so I made an order to 1, 2, 3 Stitch, and it actually came the afternoon that we filmed. But my mail, if I get it by 7 o'clock in the evening, I'm doing well. Because the guy does a different route than what they must have given it to a different person, because they do a different route. It looks like they're gonna come down and see me, and they turn before they get to my house. My house is on a corner. So anyway, the new start I was doing, the August house, I had to order that fabric, so that was one of the things, that beautiful beige. And then I had also ordered and this is also in the plans, but I wanted to do the So Jolly Stitches by, again, Erica Arnott. It's called Erica Made, but her store is confessionsofahomeschooler.com, and it's right there in the bottom. You can screenshot it if you want to. And again, she has quilting, cross stitch, several things. Well, I broke down. Well, I ordered the fabric, and it's just a arms aren't long enough. It's a aqua blue Ada fabric. So there's no modeling from 1-2-3 Stitch. I've got all the called for threads, but I broke down and made an order to Fat Quarter Shop because they had a couple of things that I could use to finish these with, and it's easier than me trying to cut out the circles myself. So I ordered the sticky back circles, and I have 2 packs of those because you need 2 packs of those.
Where did you order them from?
Fat Quarter Shop.
Okay.
And then I also ordered the tart tins, and they come with a string, a hemp rope or a rope hanger, so you can hang them on your tree as soon as you finish them. And I had to order 2 packs of those. Well, when I did place that order, I was practically at the no shipping cost. So I picked up a couple more things. I have a kit. It's a Bent Creek Silver Bells Globe, and that's the one that uses the bigger count fabric and the pearl cotton. And then they were having a sale on their fabric, so I got a yard of, I'm not really sure what the name of this one is, but they had several. They had blue with these, but you know, it's got cross stitches on it. So I figured I could make a project bag and make a pretty lining for a project bag, needle kit, you know, needle book, all kinds of stuff. And you know, yard's a nice amount. I also, well, yeah, I'm just going on. Can't you tell?
It's okay.
When I ordered from 1-2-3 Stitch, I ordered the fabric for the haunted mausoleum. Here's the pattern. And this mausoleum is in Edisto Island, which is about 2.5 hours from Florence. It's down towards Charleston. I'll pick that up in a minute. And I'm gonna stitch it on 32 count Vintage Country Mocha Lugana. I know Vintage Country Mocha is a printed one, but I like it. It has a nice feel. And I like Lugana better than I do linen. I do stitch on linen, and I've gotten better at stitching on linen, but if I can get Lugana, I will. I also have a couple more things from 1-2-3 Stitch. I had the Madame Chantilly Seasons in a Jar on my wish list for a while, and anytime I make an order from 1-2-3 Stitch, I usually check my wish list and update it. And so I thought these were so cute. And I'm not going to stitch them all together. I'm going to stitch them separately. And then my mother's favorite hymn was Jesus Loves Me. And so Plum Street Samplers had one. And I bought the fabric to go with that. Again, it's a Vintage Country Mocha. And it's 28 count. That may not be the fabric for this one. I may do something different. I don't think that's right. But anyway, I have another piece of Vintage Country Mocha.
So on that one, you're supposed to dye your threads.
Oh, I haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah,
oh yes,
several
there's a
people
coffee
talk about
dyeing
it.
recipe. It's on the back. That's a waste of coffee there. Should drink the coffee.
I
Anyway,
would be terrified to do that.
I did. And of course they had, again on 1-2-3 Stitch, they had the cutest little snowman. It's a Just Another Button Company snowman, and it is so secure. There we go. because I know you're going to want to see it. You can't see it through the bubble wrap. You should be able to see it through the plastic, but it's a snowman, and he's just so cute. And then last but not least, they had the cat's paws point protectors, and they were just adorable. You could put these on your scissors, but I also knit, so they could go on my knitting needles too. And I think that's it for my stash enhancement or investment.
I had one piece of stitchy kindness. A friend was sharing patterns, and this was the words to When I Survey the Wondrous Cross, and it's probably the best words on there, and it's the way I hope I live my life. It says, love so divine demands my soul, my life, my all. Speaking of which, I'm wearing a new jacket from LovenFaith, I believe, website, and it's got all the names of Jesus on it. And Janet Jabber, today I wore my sunflower shirt just for you, and it says God is faithful in every season. So back to other stash acquisitions. From Maggie's Minders, which is where I order my grime guards normally. I ordered the grime guard for my scroll frame, and I love this fabric on this. I don't know if you can see that there's a fox on there, there's a squirrel, a chipmunk, a rabbit. It's really cute fabric.
That is cute fabric.
There's two of them, and scroll frame grime guards are a little different than the regular grime guards because they go from one side to the other. It doesn't wrap in a square. It wraps from the end of your poles over to the other end. If it's going to make it, it's supposed to be 18 inches.
There's a hole.
Okay, there. Yeah, there's a hole.
Yeah, that's the way that works.
And this will cover your fabric right here when it's around there.
Put it over your knobs too.
So, yeah, you put it over your knobs too, so it doesn't get your needle doesn't wrap around your knob or your washer underneath, you know. So, and you put it across the top and the bottom, and you know, when you use scroll frames, it's probably because you're doing a pretty big piece that's going to be constantly exposed to your own grime, as they say. And so that's the way it's going to go. Now you may have noticed I don't have a knob on one of these. These are like socks. You know how you lose one sock every time in the washer? These knobs for me and the bolt right here, somehow I always lose one. So I'm going to the hardware store to buy another knob and another one of these. I call it a bolt. I don't know if that's the right term. But it's not a screw because it doesn't have a point. It has a flat edge. So
yeah, it's a bolt.
I think bolt, okay. So anyway, that's, and also in Maggie's Minders, I got the tension clips. I got medium and large because I don't know how much I'm going to need.
Oh, those you need.
But you flip it to the edge of your material and wrap it around the side, and it pulls your fabric taut so that it's tight enough for you to stitch. Oh, dog. I was going to show that business card so they could know where to get it from. Maggie's Minders is on Etsy. I need to move it over some.
Like that?
Over a little bit more. And it's still not in the frame.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Oh.
Need to bring it back just a little bit. There we go.
Is that better? Okay.
Might. Hopefully you can see that.
Yeah.
It's called Maggie's Minders.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it's on Etsy.
I'm not very steady there.
She has a maggiesminders.com or maggiesminders.etsy.com. So if you type that, anyway, I get a lot of my grime guards from her. She's very quick and she's got really pretty fabric. So I like using her. And the last piece of haul, I guess,
yeah,
is from PNBmakingmemories,
yes,
which is in Florence, South Carolina.
Local company.
Yes, and we didn't know that.
No.
I didn't know it was in Florence when I first ordered from them. I had no idea. I'd been watching Just Keep Stitching and Floss Boss and Cousins, and I didn't want one that's had their channel name on it, but I wanted to see if they had any other needle minders, and that's when I found out about their estates. Last time I showed you, I had South Carolina, and I love South Carolina so much that I ordered West Virginia.
That's what I figured.
And I also ordered, you know how they'd like to get in the bottom of the bag?
Well, yeah, and it's like it's an endless bottom.
Come on. Everything's coming out but the Indiana one. Well, I also, Indiana.
There you go.
And it just has Crossroads of America and a cardinal on it, because they have the Ball State Cardinals, and they actually, state bird is a cardinal, just like West Virginia's state bird is a cardinal.
Just like North Carolina's state bird's a
Yep,
cardinal.
several states have it.
Yes, they
So,
do.
anyway, Pam was so nice. She said, "What's your favorite color?" And I said, "Blue." Now, she had come to our EGA meeting, and I met her in person. She's a great person.
Yes, very
and
nice.
she was doing English paper piecing, which I've never done. I do paper piecing and scrapbooking, but not on fabric. And I was fascinated. So she sent me these hexies that she'd cut out, all these hexie patterns, and she sent me one,
That's pretty fabric.
2,
Uh-oh, what's it attached to?
3, and she sent me sharp needles and floss and a leather thimble.
Wow.
Now I need her to come visit me and show me how to do it. I'm so excited. So I can't wait, Pam. You hear me? You need to come to teach you, at least me personally. And I thought I was done with haul, but I forgot I had ordered these. But that's it for Pam's.
There you go.
PNBmakingmemories. They make the greatest wooden needle minders, and I'm not just saying that because they're local.
No, they
I'm
are.
saying that because they're good
Yes.
and they're quick.
And they have
So.
they have corner gauges. They have all kinds of things on there. They have floss drops, all kinds of things on there.
So I was watching Nicole Spore. Nicole.
Did she enable you?
I had to stop myself. Look at this. You can make shirt cards. The die cut makes it look like a zipper. And it actually comes with the zippers too. I couldn't believe that. So I'll be making some of those cards. Then all the stitching cards. I hadn't realized how many that come. They had beautiful flower cards. You're going to be seeing some of these coming up. Look at this one. Imagine when that one is stitched. It's going to be gorgeous.
Yes, it is.
And this one,
Ooh, yeah. You might want to flip that over. Well, to sort of see the pattern.
Oh, okay.
But the dimensions on the front side.
So you can see the stitches, where you're going to stitch, in those holes. And I'm very sad to say that while I was looking in there, they had all kinds of puppy dogs and bones and paws in one pack, decent price. Nicole, I can't afford to watch you and spend all this money, but I enjoyed it.
Let me get you one hook.
Jack he's skinny enough to go through those struts. So we got him on a leash because of that, and he's gone in and out of the struts and gets himself all tied up.
And now he's going around the chair. Go that way, Jack. Go that way. That way. That way, baby. Now, Jack.
He is a good doggy.
There you go. Good boy. So,
In case I didn't tell you, Jack is 6 years old. He's either a Chihuahuaranian or a Chiweenie. Not sure which.
he doesn't look like a Chiweenie, though.
I don't think he's dachshund.
He doesn't have any dots in him.
I think and I don't think he looks like a Pomeranian either. I think there's a terrier in there, honestly.
Well, with the hair, yeah.
So, but
Definitely.
whatever he is, I can see Chihuahua in him, but
Mhm.
I don't think it's the others. They're guessing. Okay,
We ready
So,
for needles up?
it is time for
Da-da-da.
Needles up.
Needles up.
we recognize floss tubers that meet different categories.
Mhm.
Hold on. I had done this at the end,
Oh,
so
sorry.
no, don't apologize.
So
I just didn't get my act together.
I changed our schedule up a little bit.
Doesn't matter. Okay. So we've got a few categories to recognize this time. The first one is 2 stitchers or more in the group. And I recognized the Cornhusker State Stitchers. Cornhuskers are, of course, Nebraska. And that's Jamie, the daughter, and Terry, the mother. And they do quilting and cross-stitching. They own the Heartland Quilt Shop on Etsy. They do a wool applique, there's all kinds of crafts that you can order from their shop. So I'd recommend watching them. I laugh at them sometimes because of the mother-daughter thing going on.
Interaction, yeah.
So who did you recognize?
I recognize the Sanctum Stitchers, and they're a husband and wife team, Sean and Dawn. And the first time I ever saw them, they were doing a whip parade, and their little intro, they were throwing their whips across the room. It was cute. She obviously stitches more than he does, but he's getting into the stitching, and they're just fun to watch.
I haven't watched them, so I will have to give them a look. The second category is good humor, and the one I chose doesn't so much make me laugh, but she does put me in good humor when I'm finished. I chose the Garden Goose Stitcher, who started out in South Dakota and now in Michigan. Go ahead.
And I chose Memphis Sarah E. She puts me in a good mood when she finishes up too, but I live vicariously through some of the things that she stitches and through all the retreats that she goes to. You okay?
Yeah. It's that old sinus stuff. We're outside and I'm in all that moldy ragweed.
That's true.
Okay.
All right, we're at South Carolina.
Next up is fellow South Carolinian,
Mm-hmm.
and I chose the Mischievous Stitcher.
I did too.
Is her name Lauren?
Wait, no, it's not Lauren.
I want to say, and she lives in South Carolina, of course.
Right. Works at a post office. I think she's the postmaster.
She did a lot of finishing lately,
She has done a lot of finishing lately.
so she's worth a watch.
Mm-hmm. She took about a year hiatus to train her dog, among other things. But I'm glad she's back on Floss Tubers.
Yeah. Next is American or Americana. I recognize the Fanciful Flamingo, Alicia in Florida. She's doing all kinds of things. She started her own retreat, doing mystery boxes, has her own Facebook page. I like the fact that she does prayer and praise on her floss tube. She's worth a watch.
I chose Brenda the Handwork Maniac. She's out in Utah, but I just like seeing what she stitches, but she has a rotation. And so on Sundays, she has a Sunday stitch, and she's been stitching, it was Dimensions kit, and it's Jesus with the sheep. But I can't remember the name of it. But she also does some full coverage pieces.
The Shepherd?
But it's called Lost No More.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's called, Lost No More. And it's beautiful. And in the summertime, she hangs up the Angel of Love, which is the Mirabilia that's got all the beads on the bodice, but she didn't put the wings.
And that's the one you're working on.
Yes, I am working on that one. I'm about halfway through with the cross stitch part, and then I can start the beading.
You shared that in our last floss.
I did.
Yep.
Hadn't worked on it since though.
Well, we've been busy.
True.
Foreign is the next category, and I chose Fun with Cross Stitch, which is in Australia, and it's Sharon. She does a lot of full coverage, including two patterns that she's made herself. Her husband's a truck driver, so she took a picture of his truck and she's doing that for him. It's going to take her forever because it's huge. And she's doing one of her son and his wife, I think, and he's reaching his hand down, or she's reaching her hand down to him, and their hands are touching. It's really a cute thing, but again, it's going to take a while. All of her full coverages, she does that water hole with all the African animals. She also does a lot of mirabilias. She's known in Australia for her project bags, which I would like to get.
That shipping is
but
ridiculous.
you know, shipping just doesn't make it worth it. So I enjoy watching her. She's always got a smile on her face.
I have to add her to my watch list. I chose Erin Elizabeth. She lives in Canada, and I'm working on her summer tier. She's got several of those out. And the thing I like about her videos is that she shows how she finishes her items with finds that she gets at Dollar Tree, $1.25 tree.
The next category is Animal Co-Star, and I chose Mrs. AZ Family Zoo. AZ means Arizona, and that is Allison. But the animal this time was Myrtle the turtle. She sells a lot of patterns that she designs. I bought her Weeby stitching. She does, I can't remember all the patterns she does, but there's a lot of them out there. And 100% of what you buy goes toward the animal sanctuary.
The sun has moved.
Yeah, I think we're seeing the glare, but I don't think they are.
No, I think we're more in shadow.
Oh, we'll be done pretty
about.
soon anyway.
That's true.
Your animal co-star?
My animal co-star is Luna, and she lives with Caroline on Off the Grid Needlework. And when I watch those videos and Luna's underneath Caroline's feet, you can hear her snoring sometimes. And Luna's a rescue dog.
The next category is educational. I chose Nicole Spohr, who's a terrible enabler. Because when I first started watching her, I only watched the cross stitch. I refused to watch any of the card making ones because I just knew. She does Lawn Fawn cards, which Lawn Fawn is a brand name of stamps and die cuts that are just so darling but expensive. So I refused to watch them. And then lately she did felt stitch cards, felt stitch ornaments. And she used die cuts to do that. And then she talked about something in another video, and she showed a stitching card that someone had made with the die cuts that they'd sent to her. And I was hooked. So now I'm watching her card making ones too.
Well, I chose Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch because she has several tutorials. In fact, the project bags that I made many moons ago that we showed probably on our first video, I used her tutorial for that.
The next category is networking, and I chose the 14 count Ada girl. She's the one that I learned about late night stitchers, and I actually did a Zoom with them, and that got me into Grace Notes Fabrics of the Month. Another enabler group. She talked about the camping retreat, and I told my friends about it, and two of them ended up going to it and had a thoroughly good time.
Yes, they did.
She does a lot of Zoom participations and other, she tells about a lot of other Zooms that are coming up. And she does shop tours when she and her husband are traveling around. Whenever she could, she'd stop at a shop and do a tour, and I'd see a pattern or something that I liked when she went on those. So she's definitely one to watch for networking.
And I chose Chantel 141. Last year, it came up on Facebook for her mystery ornament box, and so I just ordered it. And since then, I've ordered several things from her. They're good quality, and the barn that Angie was talking about, I used her tutorial to paint it.
That was her barn.
Yes.
But you'll see, hopefully by the time we do our next one, our fair projects will be back, and hopefully I have a blue ribbon to show for that one. and I can say, thank you, Chantel. Sal Award is the last category, and I chose Stitching by the Shore.
And I did too.
So she gets 2 needles up.
Yeah. She and Mischievous Stitcher.
Her ATC trading cards, I was tempted to try it this time, but I wasn't sure about it. And she's getting ready to show the ones that were sent, so I'll get a better idea of what we can do. Cause I think I'm gonna do it the next time if I see that I can do it when she shows all the others. I'm doing her Summer Quaker Sal.
Well, I am too, but I'm not very...
I think it's called Summer by the Shore Sal. And she's doing the library house Sal. She does a lot of Sals with the Steadfast Stitcher, Beth, the Steadfast Stitcher.
Who's doing 60
Yes.
starts for her 60.
Yes, I don't know how. I don't know.
No.
I don't know how people keep up with all these. But also with Stitching by the Shore, I'm tempted to do a Sal with her. I think I'm going to that Fish and Chips she's talking about.
Fish and Chips. It's a long dog sampler. I happen to have.
I ordered the pattern from Barefoot Needlearts, and I'm waiting for it to come in. I love whales, so of course I'm going to do this one.
Well, I like the beach.
And I like the assisty stitching in
And the
it.
seahorse.
Where the
you,
negative stitching forms the...
You could do it either way.
Yeah.
You could stitch all the negative, and then the fabric would show through and just be the animal, the picture, or you can use a dark fabric and a light thread.
Right.
And stitch the animals and let the fabric be the background.
I will either use that piece of blue that I showed you from Stitch by Tatiana, but I'm waiting on a blue coming from Be Stitch Me that I also might use. So I'm waiting on that before I make my decision. And I'm using my win from Stitching by the Shore. I won the $10 gift card to Barefoot Needlearts, which happens to be my LNS. And so I told them I'm going to use that to buy Fish and Chips. So it all worked all the way around with that Sal.
Yes, it did. All right.
Okay.
The last thing on our agenda are plans.
You want to start?
Sure. Many moons ago, because I was living in an apartment when I bought this, it's called the Angel Celebration. And I started it, but I'm going to have to restart it because the fabric I used was too light. I was doing it on what's now called Rustico, but we used to call it, we called it something else. I can't remember. But, it's the one that has the little brown specks in it.
Oatmeal?
No, it wasn't oatmeal. It was something else. But something similar to that. Anyway, it might look good on Vintage Country Mocha. Or I think I've got some fabric that I'll work on that. But I want to work on this, and obviously the Angel of Love. And I also want to do the So Jolly ornaments, because last year I bought a tree I bought a $5 tree from the $1.25 tree place, and I want to put all my stitched ornaments on that, and I just hadn't pulled it out of the box. I want to continue the August Stitchy House to finish that because it's not too much further, and then the decaf Y, I could whip that out. It's a little bit slower because it is on 20 count, and it is using one thread, which I struggle with just a little bit, just with the starting and stopping, because with the loop method you've got something to attach to, and that's it.
With my plans, you'll see the word no on many days, and that's because I've been fighting off this sinus infection, and or just some days where the brain just doesn't work well enough to count to 2. So I haven't done so much with it, even though I did manage to finish the church in September, and the whale is about the skin of my teeth. So for my plans though, I want to get back to my 6 for 60 projects for one thing, because I barely worked on them. I started them, I made sure I had 200 stitches on each one of them, but that's about all I've done. On 2 of them I've stitched twice. The rest of them I've stitched 1 time. This is my device that I use constantly. My light and my magnet clips are constantly in use, even if I'm on 14 or 16 Aida sometimes. If it's a dark Aida, I still have to use it for 14 count. So that's my device to share for this time. One of the new starts that I really would like to do, though, is Wilbur by Teresa Kogut. I've got everything all together. Everything's kitted up. The days that I couldn't stitch, that's what I spent my time doing, was kitting up. And I wonder why we don't put that on our calendar. We only put things we stitched. We don't put things we've been kitting up, because it'll take me all day to kit a project sometimes. The more floss there is involved.
Well, yeah. It does take a little while to wind it.
The other one I definitely want to start. I wanted to start at September 23rd, but I've been waiting a long time to go to a hardware store to get this knob and bolt. Been waiting on the grime guard. The grime guard's here. I'm supposed to go the, oh, it's not in here.
What,
the autumn
bell pull? You got everything but the pattern.
Pattern is not in here for the autumn bell pull. It's by Stony Creek, and I'll show it to you next time. But one other one that I've been kitting up is this one. It's in the Emma Congdon book. Which one is this? Cross Stitch for the Earth.
Yeah.
And I love this one. It's got a whale in it, but I also love what it says. And I can't read it backwards, so I don't know. We don't inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children. And I swear that commercial in the past, with the Indian crying by the polluted creek, I swear that's what he said in that commercial, because that's the thing that came to my mind instantly. I saw this. And I just love the saying. It's so true. I just think it's terrible what we're doing to our earth.
Yeah. Anything else?
And so 6 for 60 and those two. Nope, that's it.
Okay.
I think that's plenty. It'll be at least 2 weeks before we come back. And the time will have changed by then, probably.
November 5th is
Yeah.
when the time changes.
Um,
No, not quite.
Okay.
Wait.
Just depends on when we come back.
True.
But it's getting darker and darker, and it's getting colder and colder. It's the 70s today, so it's a nice day here, but I'm still wearing a long sleeve jacket.
And it's supposed to get down in the 40s tonight.
Yeah, but we'll be filming during the day, so if it's a sunny day, maybe we'll use my patio, or you might actually see, God forbid, some of my apartment. I will have to clean.
Oh, yeah, we'll just shrink in the view.
So, we do want to remember what's going on in Israel, and remember the people who didn't bring this on themselves.
Right.
The commoners who are the ones that are being killed, not the ones who are making these terrible decisions. So remember those people. Don't blame anybody. Pray for them all, because the country that is bombing, those people, those common people didn't make that decision either. So don't hold it against them, because they didn't make they're not making the decisions. They're the innocent victims in all of this. So remember those people in your prayers, please. And I think that's about all. So that's all, folk.
Bye.